All right, folks. Um,
Okay, there it is. I was say it's not showing, but
I
okay.
I really none of us really don't want to do this, but it was there was some said in another stream. I'm not going to say what stream, but it's about this open panel stuff between an open panel and closed. It kind of got me pissed off that I I'm not. It kind of got me pissed off that I make and Chris makes excuses. So if you're in here, you're hearing this, you know who we're talking about. I'm going to say his name, Flesh. It was. I think personally, it was not relevant the way how you said that. We was not being rude. We got us OG outlaws who we basically have on. Hold on, Everett. This is not. Hello, we see you, but this is not the time right now, bud.
Yeah, Shay. Yes, guys,
Yeah,
just hang
Shay.
on. We'll get to the comments later.
Yeah, this that was not called for. We do not make excuses up. We don't want to have an open panel every day or every week. We was going to set up one day only, but what was said, I don't know. Chris, what do you got to say about it before I finish, or anyone else?
Okay, if you guys think it's excuses that we make when we decide not, when we have closed panels, I'm sorry if that's the way you're thinking. But the thing is, everybody has certain people that they want to stream with all the time.
Exactly.
But the thing is, we cannot have open panels all the time because it gets way too chaotic.
It does.
And when we got to keep repeating ourselves over and over, it's basically like watching a 2 year old, especially if you read the bottom of my screen. It says it is not an open panel unless I say so. But me and Chris was just talking about this a little bit ago. I'm sorry, Chris, by putting you out, but I'm doing it.
You
We
want to
are.
know something? I don't
I'm.
care.
I. I'm more with it. I'm not going to do no more open panels because it happened not once but twice. I had someone on my panel. Just because they got on my panel, they think they can go over to someone else's panel and thinking they can get on as well.
And
And
I'll
no,
say,
ever we're not talking about you. You're cool with us. You don't really ask.
no,
Which
you're
one are you
cool.
talking
And that's
about?
Jay.
Ever,
Oh,
Everett and SJ are
Uh,
cool. But me as a mod over there at that stream, I did see it, and that was very disrespectful when we was trying to help somebody that needs help. Don't be keep asking to jump on panel. Okay? Yes, I am one of the OG outlaws. I've been away for a while due to medical conditions. And I've been watching, I've been modding the chats. I do see this stuff. And you, whoever you are, Flash, whatever you want to call
yes,
yourself,
Flash.
please understand. I know you don't understand to a point due to your mental challenge status, I believe. I'm not making fun of you for that or any of that. I just want you to understand that was very disrespectful, very rude towards the host and to the other host. Okay,
well, let's put it this way.
you need to chill out, bud, and relax.
And not only that, I already told everybody that when it comes to my mother, it took 38 years for me to build a relationship with my mother. It took 38 years for me to finally understand that my mother truly loves me. So I'm not going to allow anybody any fucking buddy to disrespect my mother, except for maybe Roy. And it's in a plain manner. So it's not disrespect, it's joking. Yeah, he don't disrespect my mom. I'm
And I
not
don't blame
allowing
you.
anybody else.
I don't blame you,
Let's,
Frog. It's like
let's,
my mom. I won't let nobody disrespect my mom either. I don't blame
let's
you.
put it this way. If I was in her live stream the whole time, due to my phone not sending the notifications, and yes, it was on Do Not Disturb somehow, I took it off and her live stream still didn't pop up. But that's not the point. If I would have seen it, your ass would have been on a 24-hour ban.
I should have jumped the gun on
Period.
that.
I don't care who you are. If it was Alex that would have done it, Froggy would have hated me, but I would have put Alex on a 24-hour ban. But we all know Alex won't do something like that. And Alex, yes, I was just using you as an example. Don't get annoyed. Don't get upset. Don't go whining to Mama Froggy saying I'm being mean to you, even though you were just being an example.
And yeah, I really did not really want to do this, but when I seen that there, it really pissed me off. I'm
Hey,
sorry,
lunatic dad.
but
Hello, lunatic dad.
it did. But that was very uncalled for what you did.
Hi, Dad.
Of us making excuses for you not coming up, especially when you put me and Chris on the what's the word
Chopping
I'm
block?
thinking of? Huh?
Chopping block?
Blast
Yeah.
me out like that.
Yeah, there
that
you
was
go.
disrespectful.
Especially when you blast me and Chris out on a really good live stream. And very important, especially it was very important between two people that was in the chat.
Yeah. And Alex, or Flash, whoever you want to call yourself, Flash.
It's not
How would
Alex.
you-
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Alex. I apologize, but Flash, how would you feel like somebody kept doing it to your chat,
Hey,
live
I'm
stream
kids.
chat? How would you feel? You'd get upset and perturbed and annoyed over and over and over. Okay, I'm not trying to jump on you or make fun of you or pick on you or harass or attack you. I'm just trying to explain. How would you feel? Put yourself in Scott's shoes, Chris' shoes, Froggy's shoes, my shoes, Lunatic Dad's shoes. How would you feel? How
Yeah,
would you
because
feel?
we don't like to have, because we got our OG Outlaw group as what, I don't know who made the name Outlaw, but we got our group. We normally have on a panel weekly or whatever. But if let me give you an example. Let's say sorry, Alex. I'm sorry, I'm going to use you on this. I do apologize. Let's say if we put Alex up there, we don't know him. Okay, let's say he's just someone just came in the chat, and then now you got SJ, M Kids, everybody. Let's say there's like 800. I'm just going to throw 80 people in chat. Okay, everybody would want to come up there. It would not probably work out right, especially if you got them all up there at once. If you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
What about you guys? You guys know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I think
I get you.
Froggy's still muted because she's busy doing something.
I'm yelling at the dogs because Coco's trying to hunt fucking Chomp Chomp.
Yeah, because I really didn't want to do this, and then right when I seen that, it just kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Well, and like I said before, in my chat was on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday. I do something special with my mother that not anybody else can do.
Right.
Well, I mean, Amy could do it with her mother, but I do something special with my mother. and I didn't pay attention to that portion of the chat. We were dealing with a domestic violence situation. We were
Exactly.
dealing with a DV situation when this was happening.
Yeah, but you shouldn't really have to pay attention to, except for the two. Like I said, I won't name the two people that was in the chat out. You shouldn't really have to pay attention except for the two people you guys was dealing with at the moment.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the solution to this whole problem. Okay? We know who it is, okay? Hey, Jeff. We know who it is. How about we put them on a 2-week ban from coming up on any open panel?
I vote aye.
I'm thinking I might just not have an open panel. Hey, Gemma, I'm just seeing all these damn comments in.
Yeah. No, Scott. Don't be like that. Don't allow that to happen, hon. No, I vote aye for what Chris suggested.
What about you, Froggy?
So you're saying have a 2-week ban?
Yep.
Scott.
All right.
Dad, what about you? We need
He
your
votes no.
You vote no. Okay.
Which is fine. Everybody's allowed to their own opinion, and he is correct. This should have been handled with him behind closed doors, but
Yeah, but it was brought out too quickly.
It was brought out on.
it was brought
Yeah.
out by Scott. And no, I'm not throwing you under the bus, Scott, for any
No,
reason
you're all right.
whatsoever.
I was just hoping that one. I was just hoping he would see this and he would realize he needs to ease up on asking so much. Because even though it says right at the bottom of the screen, it is not an open panel, or unless we say so. Because he put us under the bus in the other stream now, so it just aggravated me.
But Dad, Dad, please do not be mad at me for voting aye on this.
Like I said,
I'm
we
showing
all have our
support.
own opinions.
Exactly, but I want to explain myself.
I already messaged that.
I'm standing up for the group also and voting. I might not be in the group all the time due to my medical condition, what I'm going through, but I am here
No,
today to stand
you're
with
in it.
y'all.
You're always in the chat, so you're in it.
Exactly. But I'm not maybe on the panel all the time because of the way things have been because of my problems.
Hello,
Hey, Mom.
Paul.
Again, Alex, we're sorry about putting you under the bus, but we need to use an example. I hope you're not mad.
But the thing is,
It's not a
I
democracy. Wait, it is not a democracy. Is if we all don't agree, then we
Rebate it all.
exactly. It's all of us. We are the outlaws. We
Exactly.
stand together. As
Yep.
Exactly.
as my mom says, it takes a village. We stand
Yes.
together. We work great. We separate. We crumble.
Wait a minute. Why don't
Yeah.
I have him up here? Let's get
But-
Dad up here.
But
Hold on.
Dad, please come up with us because we need your opinion as the elder of the group.
Hey! Did y'all see I fangirled over Lunatic Mom? I did. I literally in the middle of the stream see Lunatic Mom come in, and I'm like, "Eee!"
Hi,
I
Mom.
fangirled over Lunatic Mom.
I didn't see her
I don't
come
see her
in.
in here. No, I think she's talking about on her stream.
On my stream
Yeah.
with my mom.
Oh.
Oh, I got another psychic coming up.
Cool, girl.
All right, Dad. This link sent to you if you want to come up.
Please come up, Dad.
But
We need you as the elder of the group.
he's
Decision.
the founder of the OG Outlaws. We'll say
You want to know
Yeah.
who he says actually the founder is?
you're the one that thought of the name.
Bad part
But
about
Dad
we're all
started this group. I
Here's-
say.
Here's what I say: we're all the founders because we all agreed on the name. It doesn't matter who came up with the name or anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are as one.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I look to as Lunatic Dad as
And
the elder of the group.
let's put it
the
this way.
wiser one.
And out of words of Lunatic Dad himself, we may not always agree on something, but we will always stick together.
Yep.
Yes.
I sent
are-
Dad texted
we're-
him the
we're-
link. So
We're basically a family, a cohesive family.
but yeah, I just had to get that off my chest because that person went into another stream and flat out said I'm making excuses, that me and Chris is making excuses.
Well, let him think I'm making excuses because I
Hey,
really
Mom.
don't give a rat's ass.
Hey, Brett's mother.
Hello.
So again, if I do apologize, I don't. Oh.
Ah!
I think okay, so
Now he wants me. What the heck, Dad? Which way you want me to send it to your phone? Ah, hold on, Dad.
Yeah, and text to the phone.
No, he just said send it to his Twitter.
Oh, he says send it to his twatter.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he's at home,
Yeah.
dork.
He wants to.
Hold on.
He wants to suck up his twat.
Okay, so here's where I think I'll let Dad get in here, but I want to speak when Dad gets in here because I want to address the situation we were dealing with when this was happening.
Exactly. I agree, Froggy.
Because I think getting the situation that was surrounding it was very important. Is very important because he's in the basement waiting.
No, he's not.
I just got the fucking text message. He's in the basement waiting.
It's just showing.
Okay, guys, calm down. We all don't.
He
need
might
argue.
have to
We all-
leave and then come back in.
we all
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, but we all don't need to be pulling on each other to argue. 'Cause that's
There
the
he is.
way
Now
it's
he's in the basement.
Hey, Dad.
What fucking link are you going to want to go ahead and send me? I have the one that you had on the phone. You said that's a permanent link.
See,
Oh,
he,
Dad.
he broke his thing. Okay, so let me explain what was going on. We
I
were
was in your stream.
you were in my stream. You heard what was going on with the domestic violence. That's why I didn't see what was going on was because I was trying to find we were trying to get things connected so that way my friend could get out of this domestic violence situation.
I'm going.
And what people don't know is after that,
Bye-bye.
bye, honey. And after the call with my mom, I actually got on a call with Wild One and the person that's in the domestic violence situation. And I will not say here, but Amy can attest to the horrific things that is happening to my best friend
Yes.
right now.
Yes, it's that bad.
No, I get it. Go on.
So I think that's where Scotty became to the point where he's like, this shit is not okay. This shit is not cool. There's something serious going on.
Yep, and then also how he put in me and Chris under the bus by saying we're making excuses for not having them up on the panel.
All right, let me clarify this right now. And I'm going to say this one time.
Okay, Dad.
I really don't want to even do this fucking publicly, but I'm gonna do it publicly since you guys decided to go public on every damn
I
fart
thought
or
this
piss
was
or
a
something.
closed panel.
Well,
It is a closed panel.
you are aware of, again, I'm not making excuses for this gentleman, but you are aware of that he is big time uh, autistic. You do know that, right?
Yes,
All right.
I do.
Well, let me speak. First off, autistic people react quickly on things and just blurt things out and everything else without sometimes not thinking it and everything else. I have done many, many studies on this with Gemma and everything over the years and everything else, and her being autistic and highly functioning, by the way. I myself, I don't know how to say this, but I'm actually disappointed in the Outlaws to go public on something like this and everything else. Hey, you guys are going to do what you're going to do. I have no problem with that. I love you, but this could have been handled in a little bit different way. Maybe had a closed door meeting or whatever the case may be. Get in touch with me. Hey, pop up here. Here's what happened or whatever the case may be. How many times have I been screaming about every time somebody says something bad or whatever the case may be? We're going live. That's nations. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're nations. We might as well call ourselves fucking outlaw nations. That's what we are. Every time something happens, boom. I mean, this kid or whatever the case may be, how would any of us feel? What if he does something to himself or whatever, and he gets really depressed or whatever, and something snaps in his head and everything else? None of us are even thinking about that. I mean, I know who this is and everything else. And no, I'm not taking a side here, but I am trying to understand. I mean, we've been through this with other people and everything else. And you guys, like I said, you guys do your channels the way you're going to do them. But, sometimes we have to pull back a little bit and see it and say, hey, maybe something's not right there. Something's not here or whatever the case may be. And how would any of us feel is if this kid turns around and does something bad to himself and it was all over a live stream because everybody's going ahead and doing that?
Like shit.
I mean, I know I would. Like I
I
said,
would too. I've got a cousin of mine's mentally challenged, and I wasn't trying to be rude or hateful or any of that.
but again, when you go live with it and everything else,
Yeah, but I thought it wasn't live. That's what I got up here, Dad, for. I thought
I
it
get
was
it.
not live.
I get it. I'm just saying is that
We need to
I
start
don't know.
going live and just do closed panels behind the scene
How
and
how
talk
how
things out.
how many times his dad been attacked over and
A
over
lot.
again? And you guys know all these motherfuckers that have went at me and everything else. Have you seen me one fucking time, even once, go live
No.
and say about call out people or say something or whatever, or they said horrific shit and this and everything else? Not once has dad ever done that. Because the way I look at it is I really felt that the outlaws were more mature than that. We're all
I'm
old
sorry,
ass
Dad.
people. We're dealing with a kid here, a young kid. All right, and we're all fucking old and everything else. Think back in our days when we were younger or whatever the case may be, we blurt shit out. And this guy has a mental handicap and everything else, where
Yeah.
something's going to just fly out or whatever. And one thing about autistic people, sometimes they get very, very aggressive and everything else. That's why, I wish before this happened that, that someone would have reached out to me or whatever. Hey, we really need to talk to you. This popped or whatever the case may be. And then as soon as I, like I said, I'm sitting back in the background listening. And then when I heard it, the person, the channel and everything, I went, whoa, 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 and everything. I mean, I get it. You're upset. You're angry. It was not called for, but you guys did a knee jerk reaction. And like I said, I don't like to even say this stuff. I mean, because we're all grown ass adults. Who the fuck am I to go ahead and get upset or whatever? But like I told you before, Froggy, my name and my reputation means everything to me. And
I know that.
I do not
But
want to be associated if it's gonna be with everybody, something happens, people going and talking and going after someone and everything else. Because us outlaws, that's one thing, the reason why I went with the outlaws and everything, because I felt we were different and everything else.
Right.
All of us have been attacked by other people. All of us has been attacked. How did it make all of us feel when someone attacked us like shit? when people talked about us on a stream or whatever the case may be,
Yes,
we
sir.
felt like shit. When people
Yes.
threatened our lives and everything else, we felt like shit. What are we doing? You don't know the
The same fucking
ramifications.
thing.
We
Yeah.
don't know the ramifications of what happened with this guy and everything else. Now
He
we
could
don't
be
know.
having a bad day. He could,
Yeah.
and
could.
I wasn't reading chat, so he
I
could have
wasn't-
thought I was ignoring him.
I wasn't trying to be hateful or mean or any of that to him. I
It-
was just trying to talk to him as a human being.
And that's the key. That's the key. We have to talk to him like a human being. But when you do it on a public forum, now it becomes from I was watching the chat and everything else, what people were saying and everything else. And I'm sitting there just looking like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is because, mind you, I'm watching it. What do you think this gentleman's doing? He's watching it. And how do you not know that this kid can turn around and really break down and everything else? I don't want that on my head, is what I'm saying. I don't
Exactly.
want that.
I don't want it on my head either.
I don't either.
I mean, none of us do. None of us want this for this kid or whatever. Like I said, I mean, you guys. I mean, I get it. If someone was sitting there saying you mother and all this crazy fucking shit and everything else, then you should just time it out and make it a permanent timeout or whatever. You know, instead of saying 1 day, 5 days or whatever. If someone does something horrific in your chat, just time their ass out permanently. Move on. We got to move on because, like I said, my reputation, what I I will protect that beyond anything.
I
And everything
understand
else.
that. I
And
understand.
as I told you guys before, that there are people that will turn around and trust me. I guarantee you, in the next couple fucking days, shit's gonna come. There they go again. The outlaws are boom. What's the difference, lunatic dad? And that's what they're gonna say to me. That's what they're gonna say to me. What's the difference? You were screaming and yelling about nations, going after people every time someone farted wrong or whatever the case may be. And now look what the group in which you say you love and everything else. What are they doing? And the kid is a young kid, young. And that, like I said, I don't know. This one just bothered. Like I said, I just think it's something that we need to. You know, we're older, man. I mean, we're old. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really don't. I mean, I'm just saying is that, you know, I mean, I know if I had a mental issue or whatever, or a mental break, or things go wrong.
I have a
chemically in
mental
my head,
break.
I had a bit-
I have a mental issue. I totally understand. That's why I just explained the situation of what was happening.
I get
That's
it.
I'm on
that's all I
medication.
did. Like
honey.
I wasn't
Exactly.
paying attention to the chat. That's all I did. We've all been there. We've all had. I 100% agree with you, Dad. We shouldn't have
But
just
don't agree with me
jumped on live.
because I got
I'm
upset
not.
or whatever.
I'm
want.
not.
I mean, if you guys, what I'm trying to get at is, if you guys believe in what you're saying, don't worry about what Dad says. I'm just saying is what. That's why I voted no, is
And
because
I respect your vote. I
and-
respect your vote, Dad.
but
I
the majority-
voted.
but
I voted not
majority-
have it above for 2 weeks
But
because
majority does rule. Okay, majority does rule. I am a person when we got together and everything else, right?
right.
When we all got together and everything else, I've always said we put things to a vote. Majority rules. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if Dad turns around and doesn't agree with you. That doesn't
Yeah.
matter. If you got 4 votes, stick to your 4 votes. Okay?
Yeah,
Is
but
what I'm
I even
saying.
asked you to come up because I treat you as an elder, respect, and you have more decision knowledge than any of us up here. That's why.
We're all the same, honey. We're all the same. I mean, the only thing I say is, and I agree, like my wife is saying, everyone is taking things too personal and
I
everything
agree.
else.
And I did take it personal because it was on. It was happening when I was dealing with my
Of a
best friend,
very
and while I was
serious
dealing
matter.
with my mom.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
at
It was a bad timing for sure.
right,
Bad
it
timing.
was a bad timing, and that's why I was saying, okay, for 2 weeks, I won't have him up on a panel. But guess what? The next 2 weeks, the only time I'm doing a panel is on Tuesdays and maybe Thursdays because guess
Exactly,
what?
Heidi.
Next
Exactly.
Tuesday is one of my best friends that I'm introducing to you guys. And maybe Thursday I might go do something. Oh yeah, we are going to do something. We're gonna go out and we're gonna go walk some lakes and stuff.
you.
So I can't have nobody on the panel if I'm on my cell phone.
Exactly.
So
No,
yeah,
I get it.
can't have him up for the next 2 weeks. That's
Exactly.
just how it is.
And
Uh,
go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. He's got his hand up.
Yeah.
I just noticed. I'm looking down.
Of course, Lunatic Dads knows my back history on this shit. And for something that I put in my head and react, because he's seen the worst of the worst of the worst that came to me. And he's heard about it. About somebody coming to gut my wife's stomach while my kids sat there and watched and smear their blood all over her and all that.
gruesome.
Oh, this is for somebody in the UK. I told him I would even buy him the fucking plane ticket and he won't be going anywhere except for out in a body bag. He's seen me get angry over all this shit. And I have been trying to rewrite my own programming in my head to leave that shit behind, as he has seen. But it's hard to do something like that when you've been attacked constantly over stupid shit or threats to a point. As he knows, I have been trying to overlook a lot of this shit.
It's hard,
As
Chris.
he has seen, especially with people begging to come up and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do admit, I do have relapses and everything else. I'm not
I respect that.
100%. I'm not 100% innocent in any of this.
Right.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be. But I will give the devil its due. And I am trying to mend that myself.
I understand your situation and Amy's situation was very brutal. And everything else. That's why I'm reacting the way I am. Because
Yes.
that hurts you guys so bad. These attacks on the family, talking this crazy shit, people wanting to hurt your families, hurt your wife, hurt your mom, and everything else. I get that.
I know you do.
I
And
was
I
And
know
it's,
just,
it,
you.
it, and
Believe
it's
me.
like I go to a trauma group because of this. And yeah, I've been healing, but that's why I've not been on the panels. I've been in the chats only.
I agree, honey.
But
I
And I
agree.
know you understand.
I don't want to see anything happen to this person, but I want to actually
The
have
only
open dialogue with this person where we can talk to them straightforward where they can understand us.
right. But
But
the way this was handled on here,
yeah,
now you have to understand
I'll take my blame. I'll take the
at
blame
I'll
too
take my
for the
but
blame
fall
but
too.
too.
but
That
but
all
but
this
what
was basically my fault.
no. But I just want us to all understand is that there are other people that do watch this and everything else. Okay? What happens if it's say one of Lunatic Dad's people of my archangels, and I told you about them, that you guys don't even know who they are, and they hear this going on and everything else, and they turn around and try to go ahead and hack him, try to take down his whole everything, and try to do that. That's what I'm talking about. Is that you don't know who may be listening that you guys doing it to what getting it off your chest and your feelings, but as you just got done saying, there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out here on this internet and
Yes.
everything else, and there may be somebody that loves the fuck out of Chris. Okay, I mean, will do anything, go over head over heels for him or whatever, and sees that he's upset or whatever, and they take actions into their own hands. And that is something that, again, I'm not trying to berate the outlaws. Believe me, I'm not. It's just that, again, I came from a group that did the same identical stuff. There is no difference. And you guys heard me screaming and hollering about this many times where I'm
Yes,
just
Dad.
like, why don't hey, we might as well just be Nation's 13 outlaws or whatever. I mean, I don't say that to be a dick or try to be ignorant to you guys and everything else. No. I just don't want us to become nations because nations is horrible. They were fucking horrible. They went after people that did not agree with them. They hurt people that they did not like. That was their agenda towards the end. And now where's nations now? They're dead.
Nowhere.
They're over, gone. Because people seen it for what the hell it is, and they didn't want shit to do with that damn group no more, and everything. And like I said, we're all older people. Like I said, I mean, like my wife said, I can understand if we were all in our 20s or whatever the case may be. We're all old and we all got our own problems and everything else. I mean, we some of us, like I said, Amy, you're battling through a lot of shit, and it's an ever lifelong battle that you're going through and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us have our own things that we're going through and everything. And the only thing I want to say is, we have to communicate with each other. When it comes to something like this, we definitely have to communicate because, as I said before, I already know what's going to happen. I already know Dad's going to get fucking bashed. It ain't going to be you guys. It's going to be me because the way I went with nations for years at war and everything that I did live stream and told, hey, I told the truth. I let it all out there saying, hey, I'm not going to be a part of an attack group. I'm not going to go to a group that's going to go ahead and belittle people and everything else. What did we do?
We just did it, and I'm sorry
Yeah.
for that,
I'm
Dad.
sorry
Not
too.
to me. Not to me.
I am sorry.
But he also needs to
Flash.
understand, even though he has a disability, doesn't he still has a brain? Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
and he has
Yep.
to take accountability for his actions too. This does not just make it that anybody who's autistic or have disabilities that just gives it a free reign. But like I said, maybe my only advice is if there's a problem or whatever the case may be, we all
Bring
get
it to the
together.
person and talk to him.
Or not only that, hun. What about, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and make it to where for a week or two, whatever you want to do, and ban them for 2 weeks, but don't even go public with it. That'll give that person the idea, hey, man, I fucked up or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I just, I just didn't feel comfortable. Like I said, I don't even feel comfortable doing this. And you're talking about, you guys know how much I fucking care and love you guys and everything else. And for me to come up
Right.
here and everything else, I wasn't gonna come up because this is what I'm afraid of. Is that when I let my true emotion out, my true feeling on something or whatever the case may be, sometimes it can hurt people I love, and that's something that kills me inside to do. I don't want to go ahead and be that type of person. I would go to fucking hell and back for each and every one of you on
Can
this
you
fucking
send
panel.
Gemma the link? I think she can really help in this. And Mom, I totally agree. And that's
I don't have Gemma and none but here.
Abraxas or Dad can send it.
I don't know how to.
Mom,
Let's see if I can.
I wanted the reason it hurt was because it was with my mom, and we were dealing with my best friend of 10 years who is in a DV situation.
And if you
And
don't
that's
know,
all I've said is literally this is why it hurt. Because again, I got off the live with my mom and called Amy and my best friend of 10 years, and we're working on a plan to get her out. I got one of my other friends that my mom helped on the phone breaking down. That's why my phone stuff's been muted. I'm trying to help two people who are breaking down right now because of the live helping them.
That's
What my
exactly.
mom did for them to help them.
Exactly. And you don't need this type of stress on top of what you're now just going
No.
through right now, hon. That's why Dad is upset. Is that you already going through right now. You're going through some really fucking tough shit.
yeah,
You two fucking some person with autism goes ahead and blah 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 blah, and you're taking out that emotion and everything, and you're taking it further. Someone needed to step in and say, "Hey, let's
Knock
talk
it the
about."
fuck up. And
Yep.
that's why I'm glad you came up, Dad. Honestly, it is.
same here.
If
I'm
you
glad.
notice, my shit's been muted most of the time, but it did hurt that he did that journal live stream with my mother while dealing with two two of my best friends going through horrible situations. One on the aspects of DB and one on the aspects of grief.
Right. Right.
And
But
Right.
CB from past. It also we worked on um something I internally have been fighting with.
Hmm.
Hi, Gemma.
hey, Gemma.
And but
Hey, everybody.
like I said, you know, uh, Gemma would actually be the one that would even know more about everything that Dad went through and everything else with nations and
Hmm.
everything else and things that, like I said, I mean, it's just that I love you guys. What more can I say and say? I literally have love in my heart for you. Otherwise, believe me when I tell you, I would just go like this, bucket, and lunatic dad disappears completely, and I wouldn't even bat an eye if I didn't love you.
The reason I want to come up is to what Dad has just said. Going through the whole nations thing, with what Dad went through with getting bullied. I was getting bullied. I got threatened. I had people threaten to throw acid in my face. I had people threaten to come and stab me. I've currently got still one open harassment case because someone decided they'd come over from the US and basically told me that they would kill me in my sleep. I've still got a police officer who's actually investigating it. I've seen Dad cry. I've seen Dad cry with me. I've had the utmost threats. And if during live streams like this, yes, I know people are high in emotions and you want to get your opinions and views and things out, but me and Dad have been on these kind of streams before, panels where things get twisted, things get said, and it ends up backfiring for everybody. And I can understand what Dad is saying. We don't want to end up looking like a nations group again and being known as potential bullies or people who cause drama, because that's what nations became. Towards the end, they became known as notorious bullies, and a lot of people didn't want to associate with any of us, and that potentially got me dragged into it because one of the so-called leaders of nations at the time decided that I needed to be her power puppet, and it caused me a lot of trouble. And luckily, I was able, with Dad's help, to back out of it
And it
and
also
get my
costed
channel back
me,
on the straight and narrow again.
and it also cost your relationship with Dad. You remember
Yes, it did.
When JoJo came into your thing and you're like, "Hi, JoJo, I got to catch up," and Dad, always watches Gemma, and remember how hurt I was, and I said I was
Yep,
devastated. And look how long it
yep,
took, almost a year, right? Maybe a little bit longer,
yep,
to where and I even told Mama I love her to death, but I'm so devastated by this and everything because we
yep,
spent so much time. But I always tell the Outlaws how much time me and you spent together, days upon days upon days upon
yeah,
days, just insanely time and everything. And it killed me to walk away from somebody that I love. That's what I was trying to say earlier with my Outlaws and everything else.
yeah.
Our Outlaws is that you know
It's seriously not worth risking relationships for, because, like Dad said, you put so much effort into someone and you become like family, and then something happens or something gets said and it breaks a lot of people, and it broke me for a while. I didn't stream again till what I
months.
didn't
It
stream
was
for eight
months.
months straight, and then I only started streaming again back in November, December last year.
Hmm.
And I've only just started getting back full time streaming. It took me so long to get my mental state back together. I couldn't face doing anything. I was so low. I felt isolated. I felt like no one liked me. And we need to be stronger than this, because if you're going to be on a public platform and you're facing people, they want someone who's strong and someone to look up to. And if you're going to be arguing and disagreeing and raising your voice and saying the F bomb or whatever, people aren't going to want to associate.
And also, if you remember Gemma and everything else, is that like I said, you're the only one ever on YouTube that's seen Lunatic Dad cry, which is that meant that I opened everything to you and everything else. That's why, I felt the way I did and everything else. But We got past that. Okay.
Yeah.
It took that a long time. And even my outlaws will tell you, I've always said never anything towards Gemma. As far as saying anything mean, anything, whatever. They can all testify that that came out of my mouth. Even when I was, and I did say she meant so much to me. And I also told them, and I can even have them say that I said, I still love her. I
He
said
says
that.
it every time we
was-
do a pre-recording.
I mean, it's one of those things that when you're in
I
my
know that
heart,
I know you love me, Dad. I don't doubt that. I never have. You know, I've like you said. You know, it took me such a long time to get back to a mental place, and like Dad has helped me through so much of my mental stress. Like I've lost relatives since being on YouTube. I've just lost yet another relative.
your grandma,
Like I've had my nan recently pass. I've had my grandma pass. I've had two of my aunts pass since being on YouTube, and Dad's been there for me when I sobbed, and I sobbed for hours. And having that connection, you don't want to take advantage of it, because if you lose someone like Dad or lose people who you connect with on YouTube, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what mental stress or what your words could do to someone. Like I was in a really bad place before me and Dad reconnected. I was in a really low place. And the only person that I really spoke to who actually messaged me was Chris, and I got maybe another couple of messages, but I was in such a bad place. I was considering quitting YouTube altogether. I was done.
I stay by my outlaws. I love my outlaws. I love each and every one of them. It was something this shouldn't have happened behind closed doors, but I know the hearts of everybody that's sitting up on this panel. I know their heart, and it is of pure kindness and forgivingness. And that's what the outlaws are. Unfortunate this happened, but again, we move on and everything else. I'm hoping that this
Yeah.
gentleman and everything else, like I said, here's a prime example. I'm just gonna bring you up, Gemma, and there's nothing wrong with this. Okay, is no. This is the point. Now everybody knows SJ and Dad. We're all cool with each other. I mean, we're really good with each other, right? Now
Yeah.
Gemma turned around and banned him in her chat. Okay, and but that's okay because she's allowed to do what because she asked him, hey, quit doing whatever he was doing and everything else. And then Gemma turned around and banned him off the channel, right? And
Yep.
Dad never, I never intervened. I didn't say anything, but she did it upon her own channel and decided to do whatever that she decided to do, and I respect that. Again, I just want to say, don't ever think that because I may not agree with something that it has to be Dad's way. No, because then I want to leave the group. I want to leave the group because I don't want what I say fucking goes. Hell fucking no. If there is a vote, and we said this when we all started, majority rules. But
Yes,
stick
but
to your majority. Stick
yeah,
to it.
but that's why I said, Dad, you need to be up here. I look at you as the elder of the group. You're more knowledgeable than we all. Your decision is more important to.
No,
Yeah,
darling.
it is to
We're all
me.
together. We're all
I
together.
know, but what I'm saying,
To her,
I
it
was
is.
to me, your decision is more valuable as to a group. Okay,
What's
you're more wiser
what's
than
the,
all of us put together. You
what's
live a
that
lot longer
saying?
than us.
You're the dad of the group, lunatic dad. You're the dad of the group. When we have an issue, who do we go to? Our
Dad.
parents. So you're the dad, mom's the mom, and we go to you and we ask
But
about
I
your
just want to say
opinion.
I do love you guys, okay? That's what I'm
I love
saying.
you with all my heart,
And
Daddy.
And
otherwise,
let me
there's no
say,
way in hell Dad would come up here. Believe me, and everything else. But I was like, you know what? Let's try to find a solution to this situation. Again, Froggy, you're going through a lot of emotional things right now. You're going through a lot and everything else. So I get it. Sometimes people go on a knee jerk reaction. But the only thing I would ever ask my outlaws if one person is really upset because Nations did this shit. This is Nations playbook. I will tell you that right now. This is Nations playbook. One person gets upset, everybody gets upset. And some of the people had nothing to even do with it. They had nothing. They don't even know. They just get them on Twitter. Hey, get up on the panel. Let's go ahead and do all this crazy shit. We're all adults and we have all of our own minds and everything else. Again, I will never, ever, ever say because dad has an issue with something that you have to have an issue with the same thing. Because my issue may be totally different. And go ahead, Scott. You wanted to talk. I'm sorry I interrupted
Yeah,
you.
no, you're all right. Um, I just want to say this here. I'm sorry. This is all. This was all my thing. I should have, like you said, I should have before I hit that live button. I should made sure it was good to go live. Should have just stayed in the basement till we talked about it. And Flash, please don't hate us. Please, still keep coming to our streams. We do love, and same with everyone else here. Hopefully, you guys don't, especially because this is up on my channel. Please don't unsubscribe. Hopefully, you guys don't, and just enjoy the future content.
I mean,
That's like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and check this out. Imagine if I would have done this on Lunatic Dad. You know what people would have called me? A fucking hypocrite. They'd have been like, the one that says keep the shit behind closed doors and solve your problems, and he's going live. I only did it one time, and if you look at it, two times, when Nations did what they did, and I said no, I'm not gonna. I'll stand alone. But this was before that me and Chris became close and everything else. This was before that and everything. Dad went at Nations. I said no. I may be one channel, I may be one person, but I'm well respected in the community because I don't do drama. I don't do drama very well. I don't like it. And the other time was when I got out of my surgery, and the whole community, it's out there. I would all ask any one of you to go look at that. When I raged beyond my wildest rage, Gemma was in that stream and everything else, and I started bleeding from my mouth because the stitches in my stomach broke because that's how
Yeah.
angry I was. Because everybody in the
Yeah.
community was fighting with each other. Everybody doing live streams, calling each other, going
Yep.
after their kids, going after. They were going after Cab. They were going after Green Bay. I mean, everything. It was a total chaos. And I'm like, I come back
Yep.
to fucking this shit. I come back to this. No, 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 no. So I started drooling blood out of my mouth because I broke a stitch in my
Yep.
stomach because I was so angry. And then Gemma, well, she was sitting in there and she's fucking super chatting the shit out of me. Stop that. Please stop. Stop. Go check that out. You'll see it. And there was like
Yep.
almost
I was.
175 people in there. And
I was the
everything.
only person trying to get Dad to stop. I was like, Dad, please listen to me. Come private with me. Come on a private call. Like, I was begging him. Like I could see how ill he was, and he was so angry. I'm like, Dad, please, I'm pleading with you. Get on a
But that's
call with
how
me,
much I love
please,
the
Dad,
community.
please.
But that's how much I love the community. I don't like the drama. I hate it. I like
Dad
content.
hates it. He does. He doesn't like it.
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I just want to let you know I'm going to have to drop out of here real quick to go run my brother around real quick.
Okay.
Much love to each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm sorry it's not the type of
Much
stream
love,
you guys
brother.
were looking for, but I do get the meat. What Lunatic Dad's trying to say. We all been through some shit, and not always it's been good shit, but it's nothing that we can't overcome.
Yeah.
This should make us stronger. This should make us more in communication, because when people go through a situation, rather than going live and bashing about it and getting angry about it, you should go private, because there's always a way before going live to fix it. This will lead hopefully to better communication for all of us, rather than just losing our shit. Because people love seeing people in distress.
Because
That's what they get a kick out of.
Gemma to this date with her autism still has a problem sometimes when she gets hurt and everything else. She'll fucking
Oh,
she
yeah.
goes on her impulse and everything else. And
Yeah, I
even though-
do. I'm
And what have I told you all the time? I will not stop you from feeling. I will not stop you from doing what your heart is telling you to do. But I always did say, think about it before you do it and everything else. But I would never tell you not to do something, because if I'm that type of
I'm
person,
more
then
in
no one
control
should
of
be around that.
my temper now than I used to be. I'm a lot more
You're a lot better now.
knowledgeable of my meltdowns and stuff now. Like, if I know I'm in a bad way, then I disappear.
Exactly.
I won't,
Exactly.
because I know
Exactly.
not to do it.
And like I said before, guys, I know I have done a lot of shit in the past. A lot of you guys have seen it. I know Lunatic Dad's seen it. Probably Gemma's seen me lose my shit
Yeah, I've
online
seen it.
a lot.
And it's like
But
Chris and Dad,
I
Froggy, Scott, they've seen me lose it. And they know what I'm going through. I'm still going through it.
Yes, you are, darling. Yes, you are.
and I am trying to change all that. Really, I am. I have not got an
Chris,
attitude to the fullest extent on here lately, but I'm not no any more perfect than anyone else that comes in here. I am probably the one that's the furthest from being perfect that comes into these live streams or up on these panels than anyone else up here.
You're a good
Guys,
man, though, Chris. You're a good man.
Chris,
Don't
there
ever
is no
forget
such
that.
thing as perfect. Perfection does not exist. And the sooner we all get used to the fact that perfection does not exist, our lives will be easier. The only person who is perfect is Christ himself.
but with everything I've been
That's a
through,
fact.
Exactly,
like
Jeff.
Wild One, with the death threats and shit like that, there has been times when I lost my shit and told the people to come right straight to my house. I gave them directions to my house, and I also told them they will not be leaving my house unless it was in a body bag. But I'm trying to get all that put behind me for the sake of everybody I stream with, like Scott, Froggy, Wild One, Lunatic Dad, Gemma when she comes up, or any
Mhm.
other ones that come up on my panel when I have an open panel. Because
Yeah.
I do know how far that shit can go and what people's memories are like, especially when you get bigger. And like I said before, I never expected to get where I'm at right now as it is. But it
Just
is
the beginning.
it is harder to change your mindset when you get put in that defensive mindset as it is to become out into the offensive mindset. I have lived my whole life here on YouTube in a very defensive mindset, and Lunatic Dad seen the people I used to hang out with and talk to that made it where I had to go in that defensive mindset to help protect them over myself. Me, if you want to come and beat the fuck out of me, do it.
Hey,
Go ahead
Chris,
and try.
And it's
have
like
a snack.
Chris. It's
You're
like
not yourself
Chris
when you're hungry.
and it's like
Mm-mm-mm.
when I disappeared offline, I stayed in contact with these guys. They knew what I was going to do, and they kept talking me out of it.
Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's
Because
just
because you're a beautiful woman and a good person, Amy.
exactly.
And
We'd
never
rather
forget
see
that.
you on
Never
the
forget that.
camera
Never forget that.
than behind bars.
You just people just have to remember, instead of focusing on a survival mode when it comes up like on any social media platform, just come out and have fun.
And
That's
that,
what we need.
and I
Just
just
enjoy
say
it. Just enjoy it. Yeah, I agree.
part of the
I
reason that
think
I do
social
say
media can be a good thing, though.
It
For
can,
the most
but
part.
with what I've seen on here, what Lunatic Dads have seen on here, what Amy have seen on here, I'm not gonna say Scott because Scott really hasn't seen the shit that we have seen and what you have seen on here, Gemma.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people that will make you switch into survival mode just to watch you
Oh
lose
yeah, don't I
on
know?
Yeah,
You
or push
you
you
know
or
you
push you to the point of no return and do something stupid.
Chris, what
here.
you don't know about me is I've
Go ahead.
spent most of my life in defensive mode. I've been so attacked in my past and online where people constantly put me down, calling me things like
Gemma.
fraud and saying that I'm spaz
Exactly.
and other words. I've had to constantly be on my guard all the freaking
Gemma,
time because people constantly want to. Yes.
I'm sorry to tell you, I do know what you've been through. I have seen
I've
it.
had to constantly protect myself.
I have seen it in your past videos.
Yeah.
You got to
And
remember,
I've only heard
just
some
because you don't,
things.
people have to realize just because people like myself or Lunatic Dad does not type in the chat or leave a comment doesn't mean we don't know what's going on. I've been
I
on
know
here
Dad
since,
wants to work, I know that.
I've been on here since 2015
I've been on it a lot longer.
shooting
I've been on
videos,
I've been on YouTube since 2016.
I
shooting
started back in
videos
2005.
of my kid
God damn.
playing the saxophone. And I
yeah,
guarantee a lot of you guys probably have seen that video, especially one that he did on Veterans Day, where I decided to reshoot it because a convoy went through behind him, which I probably shouldn't have. It was a military convoy blowing their horns when he was playing the national anthem on the corner of up there by Rallies here in town. That would have been the greatest video to put up, and I wasn't thinking. That was the very first video I did, but I wanted people to hear his talent through the set with the saxophone instead of thinking about the meaning of what was going on.
Exactly. But
And
but one thing I will say, and like I said, I mean, we all deal with stress and things in a different way. But when
Oh
it
yeah.
comes to social media, we got to be the bigger people. I mean, seriously. I mean, because we can't say things in a live stream or whatever. Because after a while, people will just be like, "Oh, they're just covering their asses." That group, we definitely don't want the reputation as the Outlaws as a group that just is basically like every group I've ever seen out there all fall. They all fall because eventually dissension and everything amongst each other, and then they start talking with a different YouTubers and they start talking with different people and everything else, and they're like, "Man, why you put up with that fucking old man and everything else? Man, get the fuck away from him and everything." It happens, believe me. And like I've already told you, I have already multiple times said that Dad is just basically recreating nations, but with a different name. I have been told this. So
well,
that's why I keep on like, because
The
I'm like,
Outlaws is nothing like Nations. The Outlaws is a more supportive, genuine group that wants to help people. Nations was a group that used bullying and forceful tactics.
but remember
Which
though,
means I
but
gotta pick it
remember,
up some.
we all
he's
create
yelling
our
at
own
me.
reputations. They're
Bye,
good. She
Chris.
should beat the living hell out of you. Do it. Exactly. But we
But
create our own reputation. We're creating this. No one's creating this for us. We are creating it ourselves and everything. And like I said, I mean, my reputation is very important to me. Very important to me. And I know the people I'm associated with are great fucking people and good-hearted people and loving people and everything else. It was a mistake in my eyes, and hopefully, like I said, in the future, please, guys, that's all we got to do is let's all get together, talk behind the scenes. Now, if someone comes in and turns around and says some malicious ass shit, say about Amy or Froggy or Scott or Lady of Brexis or whatever who's up on here, and they say some really bad shit, like saying maybe they're gonna eat your kid, motherfucker. That's a different story. That is a totally different story.
Yeah, I do agree. I should have handled it a whole different way.
That's
But what's done
like
is
for
done.
instance,
What's done
like
is
me and I still get comments about me and Dad. Like people will still try and troll me in my comment section, where they say, "Oh,
Oh,
you're
you
just
get a
riding
lot
off
of
Dad's
trolls.
coattails, and like you're nothing but a desperate wannabe. You want to cling on to Dad's numbers and take his
Oh,
viewers away
I've
from
seen it.
him."
I've seen it
And
in
I'm
the
like,
chat
"What the
back in the day.
fuck? Are you serious?"
I've seen it
I've
back
seen
in
it
the
too.
chat back in the day, and I'm sitting there being quiet, just lurking, and I'm hearing all this. They're literally, she's trying to do a good live stream. I mean, she was doing a good live streams and everything else, and they're turning around and saying, "Yeah, you're just coattailing off that, and the only reason why you got your numbers is because of him and everything else." And I'm sitting there. Then I just had enough. Then I had enough. I'm like, "Man, fuck this." I entered in the chat. I'm like, if you did even half the fucking research that this young lady does, you'd be a fucking successful YouTuber. Trust me, she does a ton of fucking work. It ain't
Yeah, I
fucking
spent
easy.
hours.
It is not easy. Mm-mm.
Okay,
No,
guys.
it's not.
Sorry to interrupt again. I am going to get off here right now, and
Said
I
that
will
10
talk
minutes
to you all later.
All right,
Okay,
brother.
Chris.
Yeah, I
Drive
think
safe.
I'm
One.
going to
Chris.
nail this
Have a
down
drive,
too.
safe drive.
And I will be trying to do a couple pre-records before the night's over.
Well, let's
Nice.
go into private where we can discuss.
We will short here in a minute. Gemma,
Nice.
what's your last words?
We just need to be supportive of each other, and before think about your actions before going live. If you need to sort out a problem with someone, do it privately. Don't go and bash people.
Dad?
The only thing I'd like to say is that the Outlaws are good, loving people, and everything else. And I love these guys to the end of the earth. And you know what? What's done is done. It will be rectified per Scott and everything else. This will be rectified. So, young man, if you're out there, whatever, I give an apology to you. But you also need to act the right way when it's a serious situation. You need to also act the right way. You have to take accountability for your actions too, as we are also older people, and we will take accountability for our actions as well. So we apologize. I apologize, and hopefully that we can solve this in a different manner.
Amy.
Everybody take care. Be safe out there. Have a lovely, wonderful day. And we are sorry for doing this and making a vote on a live stream when I thought wasn't a live stream.
Froggy?
I'm still giving you a kiss, Amy. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sorry, Flash.
Last words, Froggy.
I'm sorry that I'm sorry, Flash, for being hasty. Like I said, I was dealing with some tough situations at the hand. Love you.
All right, everyone. Well, again, I do apologize. This here was basically my fault. I should have done it a different way. I should have handled it a different way, I should say. But what I did was I took my actions over before thinking. That's basically what I did. So please do not hate none of us or anything. Hopefully, you guys come back for some crazy, fun craziness and some real topics that we do have. So we all do love you. Peace out. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.
I had to do
Bye.
that.